Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one. And maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Owen. Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Donna Reiners and
Dr. Cammy.
Yay! And we're here for you today again to solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it'll be yours. And today it might even be ours. We ended the show talking about multidimensional beings. And never even talking about multidimensional. If you remember the last show, we started out saying what we were going to do, and then we didn't do it at all. So that's
how we roll. That's how we roll.
We're going to solve all the world's problems. But I was telling Dr. Cammy that last night I was looking at all these different religions because I was interested. I'm like, what does everyone believe? And after I saw that Christianity was first, Muslim was next, Mormonism, went at all these different things. And interestingly enough, Christianity and the Muslim believe very similarly.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe what either one of them believe, but that's okay. And then I was remembering that a pastor friend of ours, who's now passed on, he had come to know someone who was a Mormon. Now, if you know anything about the rooted, most Mormons don't even know what you're rooted in. You should look it up. Mm-hmm. And then watch our last show where we talked about aliens. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say. Talk about weird. Sorry. And I was a Mormon for several years once. So, you can get on me or get off me. I don't care. And Jehovah's Witness. You name it. I was it. Almost all of them. Mm-hmm. But the reason I'm saying that is because this particular Mormon person had really was experiencing the supernatural. She was time traveling, going to different nations, showing people how to have an actual real relationship with God, which is my cup of tea. Like, that's all I want, y'all. This may all sound random sometimes. We're having a good fun show, but my real intention is I want you to know the one who lives inside of you. And I want you to be confident that the one who lives inside of you is not someone you have to encounter later in life and say yes to, but someone who already said yes to you before you even came to the planet, you see? So that's my intention in the midst of all our alien talk. Back to the we're gonna talk about multidimensional, because she went to multi-dimensions. Mm-hmm. And so what is it? Let's talk about what a dimension is. I think a dimension is lots of things happening at the same time, sometimes in the same place, but at a different time or a different space. Okay. What is multidimensional to you, Dr. Cammy?
Okay. I actually have a pretty specific answer to this because I believe I understand that there are rules in the way things work.
And this is what I don't like. I don't like rules.
Okay.
I don't like the law. I don't like anything that says no to us. Well, even if it does mean you drop off the planet. I'm
not saying it's saying no. I just think there's an order of things, because otherwise there are orders to things, or otherwise we'd be chaotic. That, like the order of these glasses. These glasses are actually in the holographic universe that we live in. There's a grid that says, there's a template of ether that comes together that says, we're going to perceive this shape, this thing as glasses. That is what I'm talking about. There's an order. There's rules. There are rules.
What's that got to do with multidimensional living?
Because that's how it works. So there's a sphere inside of a sphere inside of a sphere. I believe in this existence we're in right now is simply a 15-dimensional time matrix. Okay? So there's like 15 spheres, and it's 15 different spheres of consciousness, from the 1st to the 15th. And this would be a whole show. We could go over this through a whole show.
So we'll start it here and end it sometime.
Yes, but but they're grouped in threes. So there's 3 dimensions in each density. Okay, so there's a density with 3 dimensions in it. Okay, so we have all the way up to 15. There's been distortions in those dimensions right now that's causing a lot of the inability for us to be our truly eternal selves inside of a physical body. So that's happening. I know that's happening. It's not a belief system I have. I've experienced it. I know what I've seen. I've seen these things personally. So, but the dimensions are actually a real thing in this time-space continuum that are different levels of consciousness. So all the way up to 15. 15 being the primordial sound that we are. We come in as a sound and then a light, and then we get more dense, more dense, more dense, till we're in this 3rd dimensional space, 3D space that we find ourselves as.
So does that mean that we are, so I believe from the Bible thumping part of me, that we were all created at the same time from the foundations of the world through the spoken word from our Father, not just some energy, and that when He spoke light, that actually we were all created as spirit beings. So does that mean that that's the highest consciousness, and then we come down to the earth?
No,
because that's got to be the highest there is, Sister Fran.
Well, it's the highest in this time-space continuum. I believe that's true.
But if we were, but
there's
if we were created,
there's something outside of that. I believe there's something outside.
There's nothing outside of God, and He created us, and we're inside of Him. So how can that be any higher than that?
Because we're saying the same thing, but you're stuck in that this time-space continuum is all there is. I do not believe that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So to me, being co-crucified and co-buried is not being. That's not even in this space. This was before the world was ever created.
I agree with that.
The earth, I mean.
I agree with that. So, but there's something outside of this time-space continuum that we're talking about that is not the same. So that's out there. And then what happened is there's this time-space continuum that we're living in. Okay. And that is where matter and all this, because it has there's a downward causation that happens that actually gets us dense enough that we can actually have a physical matter being. So,
but we were created with no physical matter being.
Yes.
So that's got to be higher than 15 if you're created straight from God.
It's outside of the 15-dimensional time matrix.
So we were all created, I believe personally, we were all created, all of humanity at the same time. And then we all have assignments where we in and out travel and all that multidimensional stuff. So does that mean we're all created from this 15 primordial place?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
In this time-space continuum, yes.
Why does it have to be this time-space continuum? That makes no sense to me.
I know it doesn't, but that's how I see it. So I'm telling you that the way I see it, and I've seen it. So it's not like this is a download I got. So whether or not, it's a download that other people will it's like, my name is Cammie. I know that. Okay. There's a 15-dimensional time-space continuum, and my name is Cammie, and I know that. So that's how that information occurs to me, is all I'm saying. So think of it like a sphere, a bubble. Okay. And I've seen this in so many different ways. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm struggling for words because it's this big in my space, and I'm trying to bring it down into words. And I mean, you've been around me enough to know, and it drives my husband crazy.
He's like, come back to earth. What are you saying?
Yeah. Or finish a freaking thought. And I'm trying to finish the thought.
Oh, I know.
But
I'm like
think of it like, and I keep using my hands like this, but the way it is for me, okay, is we have this bubble, okay, and there's 15 bubbles inside of it. Okay,
that's fine.
Just work with me here.
I'm with you.
So
I'm with you, sister.
There's something. God is outside of the bubble. Okay, there's more outside of the bubble. We're just dealing with what's in this bubble right now because I believe It's all our mind and our brain can comprehend at this point.
And see, I completely disagree, but that's okay. Keep going.
Okay.
To me, that's a finite, limited belief system, and I don't believe that way.
I agree with you because we're in a finite, limited belief system in this time.
But we came from an unfinite, unlimited belief system.
I agree with you.
We just need to remember that.
I agree with you, and that's the struggle.
Going back into creation, because I've gone back to creation and created with Father. Right?
We feel the same. We believe the same thing.
Oh, I know we do. And see, this is what's so good because there's some people out there going, I don't know what the heck you're saying. So I'm breaking it down by doing this.
I appreciate that.
So they're like, oh, that makes sense.
Because I need you to do that because I don't break it down very well. So
yeah, so I'm the breaker downer.
You break her down and go girl.
But I completely agree with everything you're saying.
So, but getting back to, there are, I know you don't like the word, but there are rules. There, just like when I pick these glasses up and I drop them, there's gravity.
But that's only on this planet.
But that's where we're at. That's what we're talking about right now.
But our spirits are not defined by this planet, and our spirits are not confined by this planet.
That's yes and no.
That's what I
experienced
going to other places.
I have too, and that's not what we're talking about because most of the people we're talking to are in this time-space continuum, and that's where they are. So we have to talk about that first. I agree with you that there's others. I've been there too, so I understand. But for this, in this physical matter, this incarnation, whatever you want to call it, this exists. Whether you want to believe it or not, it exists. So being able to understand just that portion of it, like this is a thumb, and I'm going to understand everything about the thumb, doesn't mean it's the whole picture. We're looking at a thumb right now. That's all we're looking at in this whole discussion. I'm talking about the thumb, okay? And the thumb has a nail on it. A proper thumb, created thumb, has a nail on it, has some bones in it, there's some stuff. So when I say rules, that's what I'm talking about. There is a template. There is a template that everything works off of, because otherwise we'd just be a chaotic mess. There would be no order or anything inside of this time-space continuum.
Which God brought from the beginning.
Yes.
Let there be light.
Yes. So all of this from God, but all of it has some structure to it. The rules or structures in this time-space continuum, especially at the 3D level. At the 3D level, this, and this is how it's run. Now, at the 4D level, it's run a different way. At the 5D level, it's run a different way.
But we're still inside your spheres.
Yes, we're still inside the spheres.
In planet Earth.
Yes, on planet Earth.
Okay, keep going.
Yes, on planet Earth. Yes. At the 5D level, we can still manifest materially. At 6D and above, we are no longer in a physical manifestation. So that depending on what level you pop out of your body, because you can still house a 15-dimensional consciousness inside of a physical body, but when you get out of that, you're not in a body anymore. So I believe, this is what I believe, when especially people that are very tapped in, very high frequency, we're all high frequency beings. This is how much light we can stuff in this body when we're here in the 3D. But folks that are very, we went to a service last night, and this amazing person, and everybody's talking about this amazing person that was just,
exuded love and joy
all the time,
even through sickness.
And the reason that we see those kind of people become sick, and have a lot of physical issues is because the physical body can't oscillate that high. It just can't. That's one of the rules. It just can only go so high because our DNA has been corrupted by aliens. Our DNA has been corrupted by other things, and we're gonna get there.
But what about the people that get to?
Well, let me finish
this. This is why we don't finish thoughts.
Let me finish this thought. Let me finish this thought. So
don't let me forget the 1,000-year people. Go ahead.
Okay,
it's in my brain.
So to be able to put that much light in a physical body is a challenge because of all the distortions that our DNA was programmed, but there's some corruption in the program.
See,
let me finish.
You can finish.
So 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 there's this
No thoughts from the peanut gallery.
there's an attempt to get that much light in, and so the body literally can't handle it. It literally can't handle that much energy, that much light. We'll use the word light, but it's actually sound too, because we're frequency sound. It can't handle that much. So cells actually are corrupted, and cells are actually, and there's other things in there, but the big picture is the body can't hold that much light. So you think about, people that you've known or in the whole history of the world, or just people that have had big physical ailments, and you think, why does that person is so enlightened, that person is so high oscillating, high vibrating, which is the incorrect term. Why is that person sick? Why can't they just heal themselves? Why can't all that stuff? It's because one, our DNA is corrupted, because we are eternal beings. We're designed to be eternal beings, and there's a corruption or virus in the works. And two, it's very difficult to get that much density, that much light inside this dense morass that we find ourselves in a 3D consciousness. And we're in a 3D consciousness right now. We're actually 4 or 5. We're probably more 5, but a 3D consciousness. Your consciousness is always one dimension above where you are physically manifest. So that's true. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought now.
No, you haven't.
So that's how the dimensions work, and there's actually science behind this.
How much time do we have left?
There's actually science behind this.
How many minutes? Okay, good.
So there's actually science behind this, and this is a different understanding of science, and what she's saying, what I'm saying, can exist in the same realm, in the same plane. It's saying it a different way, but there are actual ways this works. There's a scientific realm that this works in, can be explained in, that is inside of the same, just like if I'm going to explain how an egg gets fertilized from a sperm, there's an actual real mechanism that happens. Right. There's a structures there's a sequence of events that happen.
Yeah.
This is no different than that. It's just at a bigger level. It's at a quantum level that we haven't been taught. It doesn't make it. You said this to me last night. Just because I believe something, don't make it not true, or true or not true. Mm-hmm. And I'm asking you to open that up.
I'm open. I just think it's limiting. So
it's
in my heart.
I don't
limiting.
I don't see it as limiting. I just see it as how it is.
Well,
it is how it is, and there I don't see any limitation to it at all. It's just how it is. Yeah. We are in this bubble. I believe we're in this bubble. I believe that.
So my difference is I believe that that here's God. Mm-hmm. Father. I believe it's Father. I don't believe it's just God. To me, God is, there's a gazillion gods. Mm-hmm. It's not just entity. Mm-hmm. That it's the Father of all mankind, all plants, all earth, everything. And that everything exists within Father, and that we can never be separated from Father, period. So those bubbles and all those things, they're all contained within. That's why when people say to me, oh, what's the universe saying? I'm thinking, well, if you talk to the one that actually owned the universe, you might feel a little bit more comforted or more confident instead of speaking to just a universe, Mm-hmm. So to me, there's nothing that exists outside of Father. And so all those bubbles, that's fine. I have no trouble with bubbles. Woo, that's a show. No trouble with bubbles. I have no trouble with that. But even believing there's only 15, to me, that you've already set a limit. And when we live within the one that's limitless, and we came from the one who's incorrupted. So believing that your body is corrupted, believing that you have corruption inside your cells, takes you outside of those of us who believe that we came from incorruptible seed. So from a Bible standpoint, which my Bible standpoint is like 3% of what Bible people believe anyway. So, but when you believe you're from an incorruptible seed, your opportunity to be out of agreement with that is a lot higher than just believing, yeah, I have a corruptible DNA. Because those of us who have gone from the religious camp into the grace camp and received the revelation of we are an incorruptible seed, that the Christ is incorruptible, that Father is incorruptible, and that we are birthed from the incorruptible, that completely defies that belief system. And so
it does not.
I don't want to do that.
It does not. We are saying the same thing, Donna.
I'm sure we are.
I will say,
but you said your programming is corrupted, and
it is.
That to me, I don't want to even believe that way. I have enough issues without believing that.
Well, let me say it a different way.
Okay.
Maybe I can say it a different way. I believe that we are designed as an incorruptible seed. Okay, I believe that 100%. That's the eternal life being that I talk about. That's how we're designed. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's been hacked. It has been hacked, and there is now corruption in it. And if you don't, that's why there's a split between the eternal life, base 12, how we're designed, and what's actually so right now is a base 10. We have lost 2 spheres that keep us separated from this eternal life design that we are in the physical. I'm talking about the physical body has been corrupted in the way it's being regenerated now. Now, we absolutely...
I need to understand what you're saying. If I have to understand, somebody else does too. So are you saying, because when I hear eternal, I think I see a different things than you see. So are you saying that in the eternal place where we have the freedom to come and roam about the cabins, that we're limited because of the corruption to roam about the different cabins here in this plant, these spheres?
Yes, because it's been literally broken.
But I know plenty of people that time travel and all sorts of things, and they're as corrupted as even their joy is corrupted and their love is corrupted, but they still have access. So
I'm not saying that, because there are people that can whatever's corrupted is different. There's different corruptions in this. Just like you can have a computer that has XYZ virus on it, and somebody has a computer that's got WXYZ virus in it, but there is a fundamental corruption, and one thing I can tell you is the dimensions are supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right now, the corruption is that 12 is right on top of 5, and it's that kind of corruption is there.
I'm going to get you a dry erase board.
Yes.
Like what Sheila uses on Sundays, is very helpful.
Yeah,
it's helpful to have a physical when we're going to do teaching.
Because that's what I was saying. I could talk about this. It would require a PowerPoint, to go through.
Yeah, well, a dry erase is fun.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
We'll think about that for the future as well, because it's good.
But we're not saying things differently.
We're not saying God doesn't exist. We're not saying there's no Father. We're not
absolutely.
Saying
I'm not
Christ. We're not saying any of those things. For those of you who are going, you're getting weird.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
And we might be getting weird.
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
True.
But I'm always I keep it real in the weird world.
True
but,
that.
But we're saying the same thing, and what I'm talking about right now is the existence that we're in right now. And I know you're having a hard time with that because you're bleeding through into the outer realms of this, and I believe that exists. I'm not saying that at all. I know that exists. I've been there. But what I'm talking about is this part of it, that 15 dimensional
planet Earth.
Not just planet Earth. Not at all.
Planet Earth? I'm trying to change my
I'm not saying
inflection.
planet Earth, because there's more in the side of this 15-dimensional realm than planet Earth. There's a lot more. The consciousness is way bigger, but it's not where the consciousness stops. It's just a fence.
Explain what consciousness is for people that don't have a clue what consciousness even means. Because there are many, I'm hearing some folks about, they're interested and they're remaining, but sometimes they just don't have a grip because they're from just a Bible background. And so they've not been exposed to anything like this. Would be like a book they're reading versus,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have enough time. We don't have enough time to go into consciousness, but we can do that on the next show.
We can do it. We're going to go 3 or 4 layers. We're going to go into the next realm in the next show because we love solving all the world's problems. And in this case, there's more than just one, and it's not just yours; it's also mine.
That's right.
Anyway, we're learning.
We're learning. It's all good,
and we're thankful. And this is fun. Listen. These are not debates. We're having a spirited engagement so that we have understanding. Because I know that if I'm like, I don't get it, there's somebody out there that doesn't get it, because I get her. So if I'm not getting it, I want to make sure you get it, and I want to make sure I get it.
I also want to say that in the world right now we live in, it's difficult to find the environment where you can disagree and it be okay. Because what I see in the world right now is if you disagree, you're canceled.
You walk away.
You're canceled, and then you're also a bad person because we disagree. And that is not the case here at all. Everybody has whatever they're coming into their understanding, their awareness with, and maybe they have all the pieces, maybe they don't. And it's okay if we all talk to each other and we all explain our perspective. We will find that we're much more similar than we are different, and just have that love for each other, that grace, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we bless you. And I do believe probably all that she believes. I just got to figure out what she's saying. See you next show.
Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cammie Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.